almost as boring to say, but guess what? Headwinds. I'm going down big hills and working hard in my smallest chain ring to keep going. It was a long, hot day in the saddle, like many days, but satisfying in that I got to my second to last state, the great state of Idaho, the northern panhandle, which I will be crossing essentially in one day on a fully paved path called the Trail of the Coeur d'Alene, which has an interesting story I will tell in the future. But first, some have called me adventurous for what I am doing, but I want to introduce you to a family that seems far more adventurous than me.
Just my vision to make things clear.
Good, what's your name?
I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hey. We're doing a little 7-day tour with my family.
Yeah.
We got our boys, we got a couple weehoos and their bikes. But right now we're trying to figure out how to get to the Norpac Trail. We started on the Trail of Coeur d'Alene and Plummer, and then spent a night in Harrison, and then
that's where I'll spend night too.
a couple nights in Silver Mountain Resort at the water park.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was fun. Go America.
Go, yeah.
And now, we're sort of route finding, trying to figure out where the Norpac is.
Yeah.
And we're going to spend the night below Lookout.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow pick up the Hiawatha. Oh, thanks,
yeah.
buddy.
If I had more time, I'm going a little, kind of going for speed and distance to a certain extent. Because I got to be in Seattle by a certain day. So,
Nice.
so therefore, I haven't been able to do all the cool things I wanted to. So I settled into the beautiful Shoshone Park, officially a day use area. As it was growing darker, Ben and family actually decided to stay in the same spot. But I could tell I was in mining country. By 6:30 in the morning, the trucks were roaring that I could hear nearby from the largest silver mine still in operation in the United States, called the Hecla Mine. I was lucky enough to run into Jerry and his dog Jasper, who had intimate knowledge of the mine and shared it with me. I learned many facts before I started recording, such as the mine shaft goes down almost 10,000 feet and then goes a mile into the mountain, and that it's only 20 feet wide, so in order to get the dump trucks they use down there, they have to rip them apart, send them down the mine shaft, and re-weld them together. Also, the rock temperature, because it's so deep, that they're working with is about 130 degrees. Jerry regaled me with many tales of being a surveyor in the mine.
They're going to run concrete down. Because the new shaft was a concrete shaft, so they needed a source for concrete. So they would mix it in the mixing shop up top and then pipe it down. Okay, well, the company that was doing the drilling had a survey instrument that they would put in their hole and keep track of where their hole was going, and they were doing good until they got down there, and then they realized that their instrument was in there upside down. So they were 400 feet off of where they were supposed to be. So my job was to take a starting spot in the drift, which is just 12 feet wide, and say go 400 feet in this direction to hit the bottom of the hole.
And you did it.
I did it, but there was a lot of people that lost sleep over that. There were lost jobs over that. And because if you miss it by 10 foot, you miss it by a mile, because there's no way to tell.
Yep.
So there was an instrument that I used called a gyrotheodolite, which is it was like an instrument that was made in the early 60s. And you take that underground and you do a series of shots with it to determine true north. And But it ended up being was my grid north and true north were about 18 minutes off at 5,000 feet underground, which accumulated just by surveying down as they mined down there, which actually was pretty damn close.
Yeah.
But close doesn't count.
No, it's like grenades, right?
Yeah, so they bored a drift out that 400 feet and a 12-foot width out that 400 feet, and damned if it didn't hit dead center. Did I ever get a bonus? Nah.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, they had all kinds of ideas of how to find that.
Uh-huh.
Drop a cat down the hole and listen for it. Listen for it screaming.
Jeez, how about a canary?
But I mean, before I took over the survey job, surveying was not a high priority. Surveying was done by miners who had got injured but could do arithmetic. That was their qualifications for surveying.
Wow.
So they would drop an internal shaft down 100 feet just between levels as a ventilation shaft or something like that, and never know where it's going to come out. And it could be 5 feet of rock in between where it was supposed to be, or 20 feet of rock.
Jeez.
But you don't know. But still, the job got no respect because surveying was just a necessary evil.
Yep. Huh.
And one time there was a rock fall and lost a miner,
Oh.
but they were trying to find a way to reach him.
Yeah.
How can we quickly, make a new drift in there right to where he's at to get to him? Because we don't know whether he's in an air pocket or under the dirt. Well, he was under the rocks, so
Yeah.
it really didn't matter. He was killed immediately.